We're going to walk through a quick example showing the impact on productivity and hiring ROI when revenue friction points are reduced or eliminated. Zero friction identifies and eliminates the friction points in a business. Every business has them, and they're the greatest source of uncaptured revenue. We're going to be looking at both early stage and later stage examples. A quick suggestion would be use your pause button at any time in this video to look at some of the data points more carefully. Let's think about friction points in the context of auto racing. Racing teams are constantly looking at every possible way to reduce friction in the engine, the tires, aerodynamics, etc. A company's revenue is no different. There are literally hundreds of friction points that erode revenue. It's the collective impact of correcting these that substantially moves the needle. So what does that look like? Well, before we go into the itemization of that, let's talk about what a friction point is. We're going to look at friction points in three silos: data creation, data usage, and user management culture. Since visuals help understand the magnitude of something, we're going to look at a partial example of what sits in those three silos. First, let's take a look at what a friction point actually is. It's any aspect of the business that represents an obstacle to realizing all the revenue potentially available to that business. I suggest you hit pause and look through the items. Every one of these items, and many others, if not addressed, rob your business of available revenue and productivity. Now, I'm not going to go into the different variables that drive this model. I should point out that the productivity at 70% is an optimistic metric, and the 30% optimization increase based on real-world outcome is conservative. Again, hit pause if you want to look at these variables more carefully. We're looking at two company scenarios, as I mentioned earlier. Early stage and later stage, both showing before and after effects of addressing the sources of friction. This is the KPI on a 10 headcount company. Here's their actual performance. If we were to optimize this organization and reduce those friction points, instead of 4.8, they'll do 7.2. Now, what if they were to hire 3 people? Well, if they hire 3 people into the business without eliminating the friction points, those 13 people will generate $5.6 million. However, eliminating the friction points, reducing them, is a $9.4 million business with 13 people. Now, what about an early stage company with a headcount of 3? With their KPI to 2.6, they're doing 1.4. If they were to optimize just these 3 companies, now we're told all the time by companies, we're not ready for this. Nothing could be further from the truth. The most important time to implement the reduction of friction points and optimization is before you inject more horsepower into your sales organization. If you optimize, instead of 1.4, you'll see a 50% increase to 2.1 million. Now, they just got an investment, and they had their 3 headcount in place, but they're going to hire 10 more. So with 13 people without optimization, they're going to see a revenue increase, obviously, up to 4.1 million. But if they were to optimize the organization of 3 and then hire, instead of 4.1 million, they'll achieve 9.4 million in annualized sales. Thanks for your time and watching this. If you'd like to learn more, you can contact me at the information below. Thank you.